Hi, I'm the Watch Guy and welcome to this review of the Rolex Explorer. As you can see, this is the new and improved 2016 version of model number 214270, the latest iteration of a watch going back to 1953 when the Explorer was first launched. In essence, this is just a facelift version and indeed carries exactly the same model number as its predecessor, the 39mm version launched in 2010. With the longer, wider hands and the blue loomed 369 markers, this update gives the whole dial a much more balanced feel than the pre-facelift version, both during the day and the night. Other than that, not much else has changed. It still has the same case of 904 steel and brushed oyster bracelet, making it just a little bit more understated than pretty much every other watch in the Rolex stable. In fact, you could argue that the oyster bracelet, in this case with the excellent oyster lock clasp, was actually built for this watch. The size is just perfect and doesn't look puny by comparison to the case, as it does with the bigger dive watches, particularly the cartoon proportioned deep sea. Somehow it just looks right. The movement remains unchanged also, which is a good thing, as the Rolex 3132 is a rock solid self-winding chronometer grade movement that has some really nice features, not least the parachrome hairspring and paraflex shock absorbers that offer a level of robustness befitting a watch with the name Explorer. So, is it robust? Well, I think so. I have worn this watch for most things and it has been fine. It has the Rolex Oyster case and twin lock crown, so I am taking as read the 100-meter water resistance, which, by the way, will be more than enough for pretty much every human on the planet. I have had this watch about 15 months now, and this watch has accompanied me kayaking, open water swimming and on mountain days, which kind of sums up the ethos of this watch. Rolex certainly likes to associate the Explorer with Himalayan expeditions, though its provenance as a direct descendant of a first watch worn on the summit of Everest is probably not as solid as Rolex would like to imply. That said, it is still a tough old watch and quite possibly the iconic Rolex. Others will argue for the no-date sub or the Daytona, but for my money, this is it. So, what about legibility? Well, the larger and longer hands and the newly loomed numerals at 369, features of this watch over its pre-faceless version, certainly aid legibility. The white gold numerals on the previous version did have a tendency to disappear just when you needed to see them, especially in bright light. Not anymore. The larger hands also help offset the lack of anti-reflective coating on the crystal, which can still occasionally catch you out. At night, the loomed 369 come alive, not only to finally give the face the balance it so desperately needed, they were noticeable by their absence on the previous version, but also to show off the light blue-green chromolite that Rolex uses. Note Rolex produced an advertising shot of this watch with a very deep blue loom. This is not an accurate reflection of what you get, and just a little bit misleading on Rolex's part. The loom, however, is still very legible, especially at the start of the night, but does tend to fade quicker than some, and I have misread the time on several occasions in the dark early mornings. My planet Ocean is not only brighter at the start, but is also more visible as the night progresses. That said, the Explorer's loom is very cool and one of this watch's great features. Add to that the high level of finishing, the unique Rolex-esque features like the laser-etched crown logo in the crystal over the 6, and this watch begins to feel special. I am not too keen on the large Rolex letters on the face, and certainly not the Rolex lettering around the inside of the case, but in real life these are not as noticeable as I thought they would be. I do wish, however, that Rolex would try a little bit harder not to attract attention to their watches. I am sure they would get more sales for it. So, if you want a no-nonsense, go anywhere watch that will actually still look pretty good with a suit and won't attract the sort of attention that other more blingy Rolexes do, then this is it.